How's it going, everybody? It is a Dual Threat Podcast, your daily source for all things sports. I'm Jacob.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Jake.
And today we are going to be bringing you a segment we like to call Friday Night Lines. It's basically where we talk about betting lines of games that we think are locks, and then we give our one key upset for the Saturday college football games that we think is going to happen. So let's get right into it.
So first, we've got on our list, we've got Kansas State plus 4.5. On ESPN, it's at plus 5. So depending on what kind of bookie you got or whatever, you could get that line. Even though it's away, we think they're going to end up beating West Virginia anyways. So we've got Kansas State in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. We're kind of a little flabbergasted that Kansas State, number 16, correct? Is a 4.5 point underdog to West Virginia. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to us. So yeah, we think that's one of our locks for this week. Sure.
Yeah. Next we have TCU -3 against Baylor. As I said in our previous video, TCU beat Texas in Austin. Baylor lost to Texas in Austin. I feel like TCU -3.
Absolutely. TCU seems like has flashes of just brilliance, and I expect that to carry over into this game for sure. Next up, we have SMU -13 at home against Navy. We know they're coming off of a loss against Cincinnati, but we think that high-powered offense led by Shane Buechele is going to be too much for the Navy defense to handle, especially just how bad Navy got beat by BYU. We think that SMU is for sure going to pull that one off.
All right, next up, we've got LSU -1.5. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. We think Auburn is not as good of a football team as they have been in the past defensively. We also think Bo Nix is kind of a little on the overrated side of quarterbacks. So we're expecting LSU to get the deal done at Auburn.
And then finally, we are taking Ohio State -11 at Penn State. Penn State just looked like they had a lot of issues last week against Indiana. Ohio State had it rolling against Nebraska, especially in the second half. Yeah, Ohio State -11 seems like a pretty nice lock.
All right, so next up, we're going to go ahead and all talk about our upsets and what goes. I'll go first. I picked Texas over Oklahoma State. I feel like Texas tends to win games that they're not supposed to. I also think Sam Ehlinger has been dominant the past few weeks, and I think that's going to continue into this week. I also think Oklahoma State has kept it close with a lot of teams that would be considered not very good. I don't think West Virginia is really on the good side of things, as we talked about earlier. Kansas State pick, and they kept it close with Tulsa, which is an okay team. But if you're a top 6 team, you shouldn't be really keeping it close with those. And so I'm picking Texas.
Yeah, so for my pick, I'm also going with Texas. As Drew just alluded to, Texas seems to win the games that they're not supposed to win. I see Oklahoma State coming out a little bit slow. I see Texas offense led by Sam Ehlinger starting off quick. If Joshua Moore is able to get into the game and make some key receptions, I see Texas taking a quick 14-0 lead and they're trying to hold off Chuba Hubbard. I do believe at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I decided to go a little bit of a different route. I went to Rutgers. Big win last week over maybe a not great Michigan State team, but I think coming into the season, Penn State was a little bit overrated, and I think Indiana kind of got bailed out a little bit at the end of that game, and I think Rutgers pulls off the big upset this week. Their running back Isaiah Pacheco had 2 touchdowns last week, and he kind of just held that game on for them. And I think their defense played really well last week. They forced 6 turnovers, and I think that along with their receivers, Aaron Cruikshank, transfer from Wisconsin, and Bo Melton, both had good games last week. I think they're going to pull off the big upset against Indiana this week.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Please make sure to hit that like and sub button. Make sure to also comment down below if you have any thoughts or concerns about our picks. We'll continue to do this every week on Friday night. And thank y'all for joining.
Thank you.